Welcome to Lighthouse, Homeschooling in Oregon with Ocean Network. Welcome back to the Lighthouse. Today we're excited to share with you a kind of a recap of the events of Capitol Day, which we just took part of recently. We just wanted to share with you the kind of events of the day to get a little bit of visibility to the activities at the Capitol. It was a pretty exciting day.
Yes, and we're also going to share some of our takeaways about the event and what the next steps are in protecting and expanding homeschool freedom and how you can get involved. I actually had a great time at Capitol Day this year. It was fun to take our family as always, but this year we had a larger crowd. We have lots of co-ops and groups show up, which was really exciting to me to see. A lot of you came from all over the state with your, Capitol Day printable packs and ready to go and to learn about government and to connect with your legislators. So that was really cool to me.
Yeah. And the lead into the event was, there were a lot of question marks that popped over there. We had, we planned ahead. You all showed up. It was fantastic. But we were warned that it might snow that morning. So, there was a question whether there's going to be an issue there. The construction always throws a bit of a wrench into getting into the Capitol. But what was exciting is this year we were able to get into the rotunda. Last year we weren't able to get into that part of it. And we pretty much filled that area with our group while we were there. And then the day before, there was a rather large walkout of some of our representatives because of recent legislation that's trying to pass. So there was a bit of a question mark whether we'd have some of our guest speakers be there. But on the whole, it was successful. Seeing so many of you show up there and be present in a rather loud, echoey hall, just to be able to stand there at the capital of our state and pray together, and stand together for Christian homeschool freedoms. It's a blessing we can't overlook. Mm-hmm. And so we were just so thankful to be a part of that. And thank you so much for being there.
Yes, and by our estimates, we had about 300 people show up, which is fantastic. And like Aaron said, we filled that rotunda with all of you awesome homeschool families. It was really a sight to see and very exciting for us. Aaron and Josh Adams shared a little bit about how a bill becomes a law, and we all prayed together. And then we were joined by Representative Alex Scarlatos and intern Nash Norris from Senator Robinson's office. And that was really fun to get to hear from them. And we are so thankful to them for their support for homeschoolers. And as a kind of a fun fact, Senator Robinson and intern Nash Norris were homeschooled. So it was really fun to have them there. I think we shared this. I think Wes Butler shared this in the last interview we did for this podcast. He mentioned that a lot of homeschoolers are in the Capitol, and we found that to be true. We have a lot of homeschoolers in the legislature, in the legislative staff, all around the building. We had people saying, yeah, we love homeschool families. And so that was really fun and encouraging to see as well.
One of the most important parts of Capitol Day is that we get the opportunity to go face to face with our representatives, with our lawmakers and their aides. So at the end of our general gathering, we had everybody gather into a small office space and gather some information regarding homeschool freedom and some research materials that were recently produced. And then spread out across the Capitol. We touched every office from every senator and every state representative, all of the families and the kids. We spread out and we try to meet as many as possible and shake hands and get to know them. And those conversations were amazing. It was surprising to us. One of the representatives that we went to speak with, we had no indication that they were particularly friendly towards homeschooling freedom. Yet the staffer that we spoke with, his wife is homeschooled, and he and his wife are considering possibly homeschooling their children. And it was just a delightful conversation. We brought our kids with us, and just to be able to be a part of civics in the truest sense as a Christian believer, it was a delight. It was so encouraging to see how many families and students were eager to have those conversations and to meet the representatives and the senators. We were able to, during that event, meet with every single one of the offices on the Capitol, which is just huge. Many of them remembered us from our apple pie days, and they're like, "Ooh, no pie this time? Yeah, we'll wait till the next one," and we'll talk more about that in this podcast. But it was a delight to be a part of the civics conversations with our children, and they got a lot out of that.
Yeah, you guys really showed up to support homeschool freedom and to enjoy the Capitol together with your families. It was a fantastic success for Oregon homeschoolers, and we were really thankful. We're also thankful, just a quick shout out to our sponsors for this event, which are Classical Conversations, HSLDA, Corbin University, and Teen Pact Oregon. They were a huge part in making this event happen.
We were also able to, at this event, introduce some new material that we've been working on with Dr. Brian Ray from NARI. He's been providing statistical information regarding homeschooling, not only in the state of Oregon, but across the country. And we were able to, with partnership with him, if you're watching, put together this pamphlet of that information. And while we were at the Capitol, this information's fresh. It's right off the press. As of this recording, we've printed this thing just a couple weeks ago. So it's very, very fresh. And we were able to provide this information to all of the offices at the Capitol, which I encourage you to visit our website and check it out. The information is amazing. It speaks to the diligent work of homeschoolers like you across the state and the success that we see in homeschooling when parents take charge of their kids' education at home.
And if you were there, you know that many homeschoolers donned the Home Education Freedom Work stickers as they were going throughout the Capitol. And this information, this data that we give legislators really shows them that home education freedom works, that we don't need to take government funding, we don't need government regulations in order to successfully educate our children. And in fact, you're doing a fantastic job educating your children. It is a great tool for legislative efforts and homeschool freedom efforts. And it's really helpful when you're talking to critics of homeschooling or even just for new homeschoolers to gain the confidence that this is not only a viable form of education, but in our opinion, it is the best form of education for academic, social, relational, all of the areas. It is really an excellent way to raise up and train your children.
And it's important that we are present, that we are involved in the civics of our state and in the lawmaking process. And Ocean Network has a long history of being involved. Grassroots, that's us, that's you and me as homeschoolers being there. And 80-90% of the work is simply showing up and having the conversations and shaking hands and saying hello. And if you haven't had the opportunity, we spoke on a previous podcast with Wes Butler, and he goes into pretty great detail. He was there. He goes into great detail about why that kind of presence still matters and why it's important to be involved. Plus, it gives your family the opportunity to have a hands-on civics lesson.
Yes, freedom requires ongoing stewardship, and Ocean Network is here to help you do that and to invite you to join in those efforts. So the next steps, now that Capitol Day is over, what do? We are going to continue monitoring the legislature for this legislative session. This is the short session. So we're going to continue watching, and we will sound any alerts on bills that come up that might impact your homeschool freedom. So make sure you signed up for our email newsletters, because that's where we'll send out those alerts. We're going to continue sharing with Oregon families about the issues concerning homeschool freedom, not only here in Oregon, but nationwide, because things are changing nationally when it comes to homeschool freedom. A lot of people are trying to impose regulation, and there's no reason to expect that Oregon is going to be immune from that now or in the future. So we are going to be sharing a lot of information about that. And Lord willing, we'll be prepping a bill for the next legislative session. Next year, 2027, is a long legislative session year. And so we are hoping to introduce something that will protect and expand your freedoms even more.
And long legislative season means Apple Pie Day. So Apple Pie Day is coming up in 2027. It expands on the kind of conversations we had during Capitol Day, but we bring pie. And you'd be amazed at how much just that act of kindness and serving goes to build a relationship with the homeschool community, with our state government. And so please consider coming and being a part of that. You get to participate in the same kinds of activities we did here on Capitol Day. It just expands that conversation. So many people we spoke to is like, you're the pie people. And that matters. That's how we connect with our elected officials and let them know that we're present, and just shake a hand and say, please support homeschooling freedom in the state of Oregon.
And we had so many really excited homeschool families show up this time at Capital Day, and many of them already want to know how to get involved, how to get more involved, how to help prepare for Apple Pie Day or be a volunteer. If you were there, you saw kids throughout the Capitol holding signs and directing people and volunteering. We had interns there helping. It was a really exciting time, and you can be involved in it too, and you can make it an even bigger and better event. So we are going to shout out this call to you. If you want to get involved, please contact us. We'll put you on our list of volunteers or potential volunteers and keep you updated on opportunities as they arise, not only for Apple Pie Day, but other events or initiatives that we have at Ocean Network.
Plus, we have other resources available for your family if you want to continue connecting with the legislature. You don't have to come during Capitol Day or Pi Day. You can come at any time with your family and enjoy the Capitol, get a little history lesson on the building. And even if you like, you can bring materials and you can talk to your representatives and just shake their hand. We've provided on our website a copy of the Capitol Day field trip printable pack. I mean, you can download that and use that at any time. There's a little scavenger hunt in there that's fun to use with your children.
Yes, we also have, whether you are at Capitol Day or not, we have a special challenge that's available that families or groups can use. It's called the Homeschool Freedom Challenge, and this is something you can do any time of year. And it has ways to connect with your legislators, to pray for them, to learn about homeschool freedom, all of these things. So we'll make sure that we leave links in the show notes to both of these resources. And whether you really want to dive in or just incorporate a few activities for your families over the school year, we can help you do that.
Capitol Day 2026 was tremendously successful. Thank you so much for those of you who were able to participate, and for those of you who wanted to participate and weren't able to for whatever reason. Again, we encourage you and your families to stay connected with Ocean Network. Make use of the resources we've got available on our website. Connect with the Capitol whenever you can as your family. And please consider joining us on Apple Pie Day in 2027. We look forward to connecting further with you.
Thanks for listening to Lighthouse, Homeschooling in Oregon with Ocean Network. Don't forget to send us your questions, and make sure to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with other Oregon homeschool families. Join us again next time as we continue encouraging and informing homeschoolers across Oregon for the Lord Jesus Christ.